All right, guys, so as I mentioned in one of my last videos about using the newer machines that were lent to me for gouging, this is going to be the first one. So the first one, we're going to be using the HTP, this guy. Actually, let's go ahead and set it up. Let's turn it on right quick. It has to recognize that we're input power. All right, so now we're set to DC polarity, electrode 116 amps. I can change all that like that. Settings, turn on carbon arc. So that indicates it that it's right in there. Now we're in DC polarity. We're going to start with about 200 amps. Let's go with 175. Okay, we're gonna go with that. So all is looking good. Now let's go back to the part. Okay, so now we're back here at this part here, and if you can notice, there's some hairline cracks developing right in this area right here. I don't exactly know how deep they are, and it's gonna be a challenge to figure out how deep they go, because a crack that is so tight is sometimes hard to determine. It could be just a surface crack, so who knows, right? It's hard to say. But they detected it and caught it before this disappeared in the hole. And for those of you that don't know what this is basically an adapter, almost similar to when you adapt a 3/8 wrench, or sorry, ratchet onto a 1/4 inch. Similar, but in the drilling world. So this goes to a larger size Kelly bar driver. This is part of a Kelly bar, so it's adapting to a smaller size, bigger or smaller. So instead of snapping it off like we've done before with pry bars and little adapters, we're trying to catch it before it does that. So let's get started. All right, so I ended up getting some 3/16 rods. These are smaller than what I normally use, and this should work. I don't know why I have these, but they were here at the shop. Either way, what I keep on the truck is 1/4 and 5/16. But I set it to 175, and that should be plenty hot for that. So let's get started on this here. Okay, that's a little too hot for me. I like to run it a little bit colder. I have just some slight carbon inclusions. That's from it sputtering. Let me turn it down a few more amps. Okay, as you can see here, that was my first pass. Actually, they did all right. And I lowered it down, and it worked okay as well. And then some people don't like seeing weaves done with arc gouging, so I did a straight line one, and that one kind of was more of a bummer because I left more carbon deposits than in the other way, compared to the other way. So I went back to weaving, and it did okay. So I'm going to continue cutting this out using the weave motion, and I didn't get my camera fixed, so I can't really show you any close-up of the gouging, which stinks, but maybe you can see my general movement by watching my hands. All right. All right, well, I'm gonna try laying it down because it looks like the crack is going more that way than that way. So I'm gonna try and chase it. You can barely see it right there. Right here along this top edge, right here. So this will be easier to access. All right, so looking by eye, I can kind of see a little bit of a crack there on the left hand side, and same thing here a little bit further down. And so I'll go around a couple more passes. Now I'll have to widen that opening up a little bit more because I won't be able to reach down in there. So I'll open it up just a little bit more and then go a little bit deeper. So let's do that. All right, guys, so that's about as clean as I can get it. So now it's time to fill it up. I'll get the temp gun and see how hot it is. It's pretty warm. Well, it's very warm, so it's perfect. Now this presents a challenge because some sides are offset a little bit more than others. See, this side is deeper than this side, so I'll have to be careful it doesn't want to pull in one direction or another. And in a situation like this, I'll try and just weld it all in circles. You know, I like to weld in the backwards direction, meaning I'll weld that direction and come over here and tie it to this one, and that way there's only one true start stop. The other ones will blend in. Now in this case, I may have to run a few passes to square it up to have it the same depth all the way around, as far as out here and here, all the way around, so it doesn't come out odd and create some weird stresses. So I will have to attend to that first. But this is about as clean as I can get it. Let me see my flashlight. Now I haven't put a grinder onto this. This is just all gouging. Now here's where gouging, or practicing gouging, really makes a big difference, because sometimes you are in positions where you cannot use a grinder, and so it's best to try and get as good as you can with the gouger. Nice and smooth. That's pretty decent. surface there to weld. So that way, you know, I can't really get grinder in some areas. I can here, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna weld it up because it's pretty clean. So things are looking good. And now that's the next step. Pour machine, you hear it running pretty hot over there. It's hot out here. It's over 100. So that and my cameras keep turning off. So you may have missed some footage. But either way, let's keep going. Okay, so now that it's heated up, what I'm going to end up doing, I could use a wire machine, let's say pulse, to try and get that in there, but I'm actually going to use a stick welder. Stick welder, why? Because I know it works, right? I wish I had some dual shield, or if any of you have suggestions on what dual shield to use, because I don't use it currently. Different folks, you know, on Instagram and different social media say that my phone is ringing. Hold on. And so they say that they really like the dual shield, so much faster, a lot of high deposition rate, things of that nature. So but for now, what I'm going to end up using is just regular old 70/18 Lincoln Excaliburs. I will start with the 332 rods first. That way I can get them in there a little tighter in there, and then work my way out to 1/8 inch, possibly even 5/32. So I guess let's get after it. Oh, I fixed my other camera, by the way, so you might get some weld shots. All right. Whoa, that's crazy. Okay, so I'm not going to make you sit there and watch all these 952 passes that it's going to take me to fill that up. So it's just a matter of stair-stepping it, or, you know, laying a bead over bead over bead. And maybe I'll show you a few of the extra ones on this outer side, so you can see my weld pattern. And you know, you get the gist of it, right? Now it's just fill. That's gonna take forever. Of course, there's a faster way with dual shield, but I do like the elongation properties of 70/18. Some people use 110/18. That is too hard of a rod, in my experience at least. It's too hard because you have to preheat this too well, and it's very crack sensitive. And so 70/18s have worked wonders all these years, and I don't ever have any real breaks to say. You know, Kelly bars stick together pretty good. Just preheat it really nicely, and the 70/18 blends with the parent metal, so it makes more than a 70/18 or 70,000 pound tensile strength in itself. So let me continue on here and finish it out. I'll get back with you guys when I'm closer to the outer ones. All right. Okay, so here's the next set of passes using the 1/8 inch welding rod, 1/8 inch 70/18 Excaliburs. They kind of blend it in there pretty good, you know. As I mentioned, I weld from this way to tie into my starts. That way I only have one actual restart. Or is it right there? You can kind of see it right there in the corner. So that's plenty smooth enough for me. Now it's just a matter of continuing on to put these weld passes in there. Sorry, this keeps moving. Weld passes in there. This may be another double pass, a heavier double pass, one big one on the bottom and then another one at the top, and then from there I may start stair-stepping it to the 3 weld passes. So let's keep going. All right, so if you notice, I'm getting a little bit lopsided. This side is really close to the edge, maybe another 3 passes, exterior passes. But here it's looking like it's needing more. This side, I'm saying, looks like it's needing more. So I'm gonna build up that side and this side a little bit more. And that way they can be even all the way around. Things are looking good though, so it's coming out all right. Just need to make sure that my last passes are all even all the way in a round square. So let's keep trucking. Well, that came out pretty. Let's see what this one looks like. Yeah. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. All right. Getting there. Okay, thought, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe about 12, 13 more passes, make it go at the right angle there. I don't know, but to see. The original one wasn't actually a smooth taper that way. It was kind of offset and stepped kind of funny. So I don't know if I'll do the same thing or just continue welding to this outer edge and just continue this angle right here. That's a lot of welding, so we'll see. So far so good. That's probably my best pass right there. I don't know if it comes out good on the video. Yeah, one of those two. All right, well, more welding. So let me high speed this stuff. Okay, so instead of welding in that general direction, I worry about undercut on this top edge. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay this down, so that'll be a flat weld. That may ensure that it's a smoother transition. Not that I can't do it, but I may as well make it easy when you can. So let me lay this guy over. See, now in this sense here, that'll be a flat weld. And my concern now will be to have the weld reach this other side, which would be fine. It's hard to explain. Let me just get this done. Turn the machine up 3 more amps just so it gets a nice hot weld in there, and hopefully no undercut. Okay, so we're gonna be finishing it off with 332 7018 rods, and I dropped it back down to 90 amps, so nice and warm, and hopefully it'll blend in there nicely. Okay, so last pass. Okay, so that should do it. I'm gonna call that good. I could possibly put another weld in there, but I don't want to. It is so so nicely tied in right there that I don't want to screw up trying to put another one in there. So that should be fine. The transition in there, it'll be all right. It'll be okay. So things look okay so far. Of course, I didn't match it as smoothly as the original guy did. That guy did pretty good. He blended them all in real nicely. Either that or the dirt finally wore them smooth. But if it was the dude, the guy did good, whoever it was. So that should do it. I'm glad got this thing done, and this thing can go back to drilling some holes. All right, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys on the next one.